What's up, y'all? Welcome to the NBA Weekly Post Game. This is where we share our views on the latest trending topics within the NBA. My name is Sha.
And I'm Evay, and we have a lot to talk about. In this episode, we're going to discuss our player of the week, and we're going to give our thoughts on the top of the season MVP ladder. Let's get started.
My player of the week is Lonzo Ball. I know. If you've been following this channel, you're probably surprised by that. Hey, I'm surprised too. Lonzo Ball has redeemed himself in my eyes. He has played all games to start this season. He's averaging 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. He's in the passing lane. He's playing defense. He's initiating the offense for the Chicago Bulls. And I'm looking forward to his matchup against De'Aaron Fox in February and March. If he can reign supreme over De'Aaron Fox, then I'm all in on Lonzo Ball. He's my player of the week.
Nice. I support that player of the week. Lonzo Ball is balling.
Yeah.
Okay. So my player of the week is Jason Tatum from the Boston Celtics. And here's why. Jason Tatum has found a way to rally the Boston Celtics up to a 7th spot in the Eastern Conference. He is averaging, in the last 2 games he played, he averaged over 30 points. That has, I think, refueled the Boston Celtics and is making them a valuable contender in the Eastern Conference. Jason Tatum, who he is right now in the past 2 games, if he can continue that on, and then the Boston Celtics get Jaylen Brown back. And also, honorable mention, this is about Jason Tatum, but because he's playing so well, the resurgence, as you mentioned that word, I love it, of Dennis Schroeder, if him and Jason Tatum, that tandem can continue on, the Boston Celtics will find themselves in the top 6. And that will be because of Jason Tatum's outstanding play. So Jason Tatum, my player of the week.
Absolutely. I really like what I'm seeing from him. And then Schroeder too. When he played the Lakers, it was almost like, look, let me show y'all what y'all missed out on.
There is something about, this is a side note, but there is something about players when they leave the Lakers, this current Lakers team, this current Lakers setup or front office or whatever, they go somewhere else and ball all the way out. I think it's the way they leave the Lakers is what gives them that what is it's called? It's a word for it. Chip.
Mm-hmm.
Gives the players a chip, and I can name a few. We're talking about Dennis Schroeder in his performance against the Lakers. Lonzo Ball, every time he plays the Lakers, I don't care what team he's with, even he played them, even though he was a disappearing act in New Orleans when he played against the Lakers when he was a New Orleans Pelicans was a good game. We have Montrezl Harrell, you got Kyle Kuzma. Recently, something about that Lakers departure, if it's not done, if it's done shady, I don't know if that's the right word. Mm-hmm. These other players, they be balling in them other teams. Y'all get it? But yeah.
And Caruso too, by the way.
Oh, and Caruso, yeah, exactly.
All right, so you guys know we love Twitter, and we found a graphic that indicates the top 5 NBA MVP players right now, the MVP ladder, if you will. So according to this graphic, we have Steph Curry leading the pack. You got Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic, DeMar DeRozan, and Jimmy Butler. So what we're going to do right now is share our thoughts on these players and if we would swap out anybody for another player. Let's get into that.
You know what? I am really excited to see Curry at the top of this MVP ladder ranking, and that's where he should be. Let me tell you, that Curry balling out of control. You know what? He played a game against the Bulls. He put up 40 points in that game. Do you know that DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine combined put up 41?
See,
now granted, obviously the Warriors won that game, but when you can put up points that alone that you need 2 and 3 other players to put up combined, who gonna compete against that? And he is almost like revived the Golden State Warriors franchise, revived their standing in the Western Conference this year, because the past 2 seasons, it's been hit and miss with the Warriors. It has been, and not to the fault of Curry, but just the fact that they're back and they're ready. Oh, yeah. And it's because of Curry. I'm just going to just say what it is. Now, they got some nice pieces on their roster. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But the excitement, the likability of Steph Curry is unmatched. And he can do things that someone else will deem boastful. He can do things on the court after he make a shot that someone will be like, he should be more humble. Not for him. He can get away with it. So, yeah, I agree with Curry being at the top of the ladder. At this stage.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I don't know who else should be number one. Steph Curry, his team is the top of the Western Conference. He's actually leading the NBA in points scored. Who else? Steph Curry is playing fantastic, and he's not a young dude.
No,
that makes it even more impressive for me.
Yeah, and considering that not only is the Warriors top of the Western Conference, they're top team, period. Like, they are the number one team in the NBA as we speak. So, and that is it attributes to the work that Steph Curry did off season. And I don't know if y'all know, but I was reading something where he and his trainer, his shooting trainer, they did some type of technological, adjustments to his game. And, he did these various shooting practices where it's based on how the percentage of the ball and how does it go in and all that. And I'm like, you took it to the next level. So it's just not about shooting the ball, because you can shoot the ball, but now how efficient can I be with shooting, and can I shoot it in different angles? What?
Yeah.
And then for that to translate into a game, amazing.
Yeah, as if he needed to get any better, as if his shot needed to be any more lethal.
That's
what I'm
talking about.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, he's fun, and he's fun to watch. One of the biggest things about Steph Curry is that he is likable. Like, his likability is huge in the league, from men, women, and children. So, yeah, but I'm happy to see him there. And I think if the Warriors continue to stay on their trajectory and he continues to play the way he's playing, he's going to end up winning the award.
Yeah. Okay. So number 2 is Kevin Durant. Now, Kevin is averaging 28.7 rebounds and 4 assists. He has been consistently great. I don't know if he belongs on this ladder. The Brooklyn Nets struggled. Had it not been for KD, I'm not sure they would be in the top 6. But for right now, I'm happy with him being on the ladder. I'm not completely sold, but I'm happy with him being there.
Hence is why he's on the ladder. Because had he not been playing with the Brooklyn Nets, they would not be nowhere near top 6. Maybe not even in the play-in tournament as we speak. So I can see why he's there. Not certain he'll be able to hold on.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how the season continues. But KD being number 2, I'm okay with that. I wonder if some of that has to do with nostalgia, just because we know he's great. And so since he's great, we're just going to put him, we know he's great. We know he's consistent. And the Brooklyn Nets are currently a top 6 team in the East. Let's just add Kevin Durant. I'm just wondering if that's a part of it. I don't know.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, James Harden had a rough start to the season, right? Mm-hmm. Kyrie hasn't played at all. Mm-hmm. Yeah, KD is the reason. He's the sole reason why the Nets are there, which makes him valuable to the team. Mm-hmm. But is he valuable overall in the league? I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, so number 3 is Nikola Jokic.
Yes. However, I think it's because he won MVP last season.
Okay.
I think that's why he's here today. I don't know if his impact is as powerful as it was last season at this stage of the season. We're talking about the first quarter, if you will, of the season, right? So again, will it look like it looked at the end of the season like it did last season for Nikola? Maybe. But right now, I question that entry only because I just don't know if what he's doing with the Nuggets is enough right now. It's weird. I don't know.
I don't think it is. And you're probably not going to like this, but I think Jokic will not win the MVP, and he'll probably fall off because I think he got sucked in to that little play with the Morris twin.
Yeah.
I think that was a big blemish on his career. Morris is still out with his injury. The league cannot promote that type of stuff. We talked about Steph Curry, his image and how likable he is. Jokic won last year. That's probably the last one that he's going to win. I hate he got sucked into that. But hey, he is the top 2 rebounder in the league, averaging 26 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists. His stats are amazing. But I think the image, blemish is going to work against him. So I do not have him on the ladder, but I do have Paul George for the Los Angeles Clippers, playing outside of his mind, actually averaging 26, 8, and 5 for a team that would not even be, talked about without Kawhi Leonard, without PG.
I agree. Wow. I can't even believe you thought about Paul George, but I am all the way here for it. Paul George is currently a one-man show in LA with the Clippers. He's a one-man show. He's playing 1 against 5 every time he hits the floor. Absolutely. And then he may get some help. He may, but it ain't guaranteed. And so when we know that the Clippers really, their number one option is Kawhi Leonard and he is out, but that Paul George came in and has sustained them, although he has had to work double time to make it happen.
Yeah.
He has had to make double time. And I'm afraid that it is starting to show up now as we're getting into the middle part of the season. I hope it doesn't, but he can't do it by himself. But the fact that he's been able to do that, that the Clippers were like not even top 6 when the season started.
Yeah.
And Paul George said, get on my back and I'm going to carry y'all to at least the top 6 now, but I'm going to need some help to stay here. That's what he's really telling y'all. When you go, what is it? What was his number? Something of 26, like 8 of 26 is last game he played, prior to this recording. So you can't carry a team by yourself. You need more than one person. So yes, I agree with Paul George. He should be on this list. But I think the reason why he's not on the list is because the league does not like the Clippers.
Oh, here we go with that again. No.
And Paul George has to still redeem himself based off of the debacle that happened in the bubble. The Clippers are still riding on the bubble debacle.
But wait a minute, though. They made it to the Western Conference Finals, though.
Doesn't matter. They were supposed to play the Lakers in the bubble. That was the matchup that was narrated. That was the matchup that was anticipated, and the Clippers fumbled the bag. That's why. And I think the league is still riding on that. So no, they're not giving them their proper props, but that's okay because Paul George, if nothing else, he should most definitely be an all-star.
Oh, he's definitely going to be an all-star as long as he can keep it up and he doesn't get injured. I see him definitely being an all-star. Now, number 4 is DeMar DeRozan for the Chicago Bulls. I don't know what else to say about DeMar. He has earned this. I would venture to say he could easily slide up to the number 2 slot for MVP. Yes.
100% agree with DeMar DeRozan being on this MVP ladder at this time of the season. 100%. If you do not know that DeMar DeRozan is the reason, he is one of the reasons why the Bulls are even being talked about right now. Because if I can recall, the trade for DeMar DeRozan to the Bulls from the Spurs was that he was washed. Oh, why are you bringing him over here? Oh, he don't have it anymore. No. He has came to the Chicago Bulls and showed everybody. He put the league on notice that, yes, I am that dude, and I'm going to show you how I do that along with these other players. And I'm going to play with great chemistry. I'm not going to come over here and try to dominate, and it's all about me. I'm going to show you how I'm going to play because I am experienced. I mean, being a DeMar DeRozan, I have been here before. Now, I may not have been championship successful with the Toronto Raptors, but I was a great player with the Toronto Raptors. And let me show you how y'all forgot. Let me show you. Because right now what he's putting up, absolutely amazing. And then he has his co-player in Zach LaVine. What? The Bulls number 1 being talked about is amazing. So let's just highlight that. And then you have someone from the Bulls roster even being mentioned as an MVP. Stop.
Yeah. And it's amazing that he's able to put up the type of productivity he is while playing alongside a ball dominant player, MVP also, he should probably be on here.
Mm-hmm.
And Zach LaVine.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, the Chicago Bulls are only on the map because of DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine as a 1B.
Let me show you. Let me tell you. And DeMar DeRozan is able to do that without a 3-ball.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
All right. So number 5 is Jimmy Butler for the Miami Heat. I mean, I like Jimmy, and he is definitely the engine for the Miami Heat. Do you have him on your MVP ladder?
Yes. And he proved that when he went out and the Heat looked like they were a JV team. Now, yeah, they may have won some games during that time. I get it. But when I'm talking about the engine that will, it's Jimmy Butler. And without him on the court, do you see what he's putting up right now? Like,
I know.
What? You and when I tell you he can make it to the free, when he draws fouls, it should be a master class because that man can get to the free throw line. And not only can he get to the free throw line, he can shoot the free throw. Like he can make the basket. He is great at defending. He can steal the ball. You know, you'll have a player that is dribbling the ball, and then he knows how to poke it from the back. Like it's that type of stuff. And I'm like, Jimmy Butler, you're the man. But the success of the Heat rests on the success of Jimmy Butler. So that's why I believe he should be on this list, and that's why the Heat is where they are right now in the East. Yes, yeah.
Jimmy Butler. I like Jimmy. I do. Trust me. But I'd rather see Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies on this MVP ladder. He deserves it. Ja is carrying the team, carried the team without Dylan Brooks. Dylan is back and Ja is still doing his thing, averaging 26.6 rebounds, 7 assists, almost 40% from the 3-point line. What? He would be exciting to have in the MVP chatter because it's the changing of the guard. It's bringing in a player who's never been talked about in the MVP conversation before. Ja is definitely going to be an all-star this season. Definitely. I don't know who he's going to knock out of contention in the West, but I'm telling you this, Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies, they're not a team that you can sleep on. And Ja, in my opinion, belongs on the MVP ladder.
I can support that. The only thing that I'm going to need from the Memphis Grizzlies is that they got to get into the top 6.
Okay.
If his teammates, because Ja Morant's going to do what he's going to do, but if his teammates can help the Memphis Grizzlies get to one of the top 6 spots, then I can probably get 100% on board. But there's no way that you can, for me, be on any MVP discussion and your team is not at least top 6. Right? Okay. Because you should be able to. You may be the most valuable player, and that most valuable player has to be enough where it's rallying your whole roster to get the whole roster up to a top 6 spot. For me, top 6 starts the MVP discussion, and then you start plucking out who's playing the best.
Okay.
So yes, can Ja Morant be a part of the MVP discussion? Yes, and I can't wait to see it because I believe it can happen. But I'm gonna need the Grizzlies to move up a little bit in the standing for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler deserves it too. Maybe if this was a ladder of 1 through 10, hey, Ja would make it. Maybe maybe even some other players that can come
Mitchell.
To mind.
We need to, yeah. We can talk about all that. So yeah, I agree with that. I'm not saying no to Ja Morant. I'm actually saying yes to Ja Morant. But for me to make it a solid MVP 1 through 5 ladder spot, the Grizzlies have to be higher than what they are right now. Okay. And when they get there, then I can say yes for sure, Ja Morant. Yes, but if he had to take anybody's spot, I agree with you. For me, and again, this ranking 1 through 5, you can after 1, you can pretty much interchange anybody. I don't really care where they stand as long as they're on the list. But I can see him being there for sure, and maybe Nikola, Jokic, yeah,
because Zach LaVine could easily be on this list too.
Easy. I often wonder what is the real criteria for the MVP ladder. What is it really? What is it really?
Yeah.
Kia, can y'all drop down in the comments? Tell us what it is.
Yeah, drop down in the comments. Kia MVP if you watch it.
Okay. So if they had to crown an MVP right now based on this list, who would you be most excited about right now?
Most excited?
Most excited.
Probably Steph Curry. just because of the dry spell they've had for the last 2 seasons, the injuries that he's fought through, the tailbone injury, playing without his boy Klay Thompson, and the Golden State Warriors being back on top. Yes, Steph Curry would have to be my guy.
Yeah, it'll be DeMar DeRozan for me.
Mm.
DeMar DeRozan, if we're going to talk about history, from being traded
Oh.
from the Toronto Raptors, for the Toronto Raptors to win the championship the following season, for him to go be put in the Spurs dungeon. I mean,
the dungeon.
And then be raised out of that to go to a franchise that, although they had a great player in Zach LaVine, their past several seasons have been abysmal. To now be on this roster and have new to the roster and now has elevated the Bulls back to talking points for the sports pundits. I'm just like, why wouldn't I? And for him to be playing so consistently well without the 3-ball. Like, can I say that enough? He may put up 1 or 2, but his superpowers is in the mid-range. So if he were to win at this point in this list, at this time, MVP, I would be ecstatic.
Okay. I would be happy for him too. Absolutely. But you know what? Kind of excited for Kevin Durant too. Because what he signed up for the Brooklyn Nets is not what he got. This is not what he signed up for. I'm sorry. No.
I know for a fact. He's like, I gave up what? For this?
Yeah.
But he's making the best of it. But he is making the best of it. And he is a true champion based on him still being able to put up and show up 100%. Play, with a nagging injury in his shoulder or, a little tweak in his shoulder or whatever. He's still able to do that and people are still watching him. And Kevin Durant is really good. He's really, really good. So, I would be happy for anybody. But if they say Jokic, I would say, wait a minute, hold up. What? Right now, don't do it. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
All right, y'all, that's all we got. And until next time, goodbye.
Peace, y'all.